Hi.
Hi. Hi. Now, for the benefit of our viewers, I would like to read your intro.
hmm
Kathleen Davis is a writer from East Yorkshire, currently completing her PhD in creative and critical writing. Her work has appeared in many magazines and anthologies, and she co-runs Aloka, a magazine for non-native English speakers. That is very interesting. Kathleen, can you tell us more about this magazine, Aloka?
Sure. Well, I run it with my friend Ellie, who is currently living in China, but we did our master's degree in creative writing together in Birmingham. And we found that there were lots of literary magazines, but there weren't many that focused on the difference and the beauty of different languages and how they could be translated into English in a way that was perhaps more unique than simply English speakers writing in English. And I have a lot of experience as a TEFL teacher. I'm really interested in languages, even though I'm terrible at them. And I thought it would be a good idea to work with different styles of poetry, different styles of writing, and come together in a kind of universal way, creating Aloka. And it's been great. You know, we've done so many different types of projects. We've got loads of different poems from all over the world, from Bangladesh and India and Spain and China. And we have interviews with different artists from, again, all over the world, different photographers, different storytellers. So it's been great, and the response has been incredible. So I'm really glad we started that.
That's really nice. How did you come upon this name, Aloka?
Well, actually, that was my friend Ellie, who co-runs the magazine with me. She came up with the idea for the name, and also a whole bunch of the stylistic, the technical stuff. But it comes from, I can't remember what language it is. I think it may be Arabic, but it means light and enlightenment, context and information. Maybe it's Hindi, actually.
Yeah.
You'd be better at telling me than this.
It is Hindi. That's why I was a little curious to know where you got this name from. Aloka does mean light. It means to light up, and alok is also means removal of darkness. So
Yeah.
that is what Aloka means. So I was really impressed just with your name, and there is so much we can talk about the word itself. And I'm very happy that you use this name for your magazine. And I would love to send you some entries from our poets here who can also be part of your magazine. And it's really, really interesting to see. And I'm really glad that I have been chosen to do this talk with you. And because you being a PhD in creative and critical writing, that makes it very, very interesting for me. Very interesting. Being a Virgo, I am a critical person, you know. Always critical
Sure.
of everything. And to talk to a PhD in this field is really interesting. And I loved your poem that you have written, and that was so
Thank
apt
you.
for the time when it was written. Would you like to read it, please?
Of course, yeah. So this was based on a video that came about in March 2020 of some Italians in quarantine singing from their balconies, and it inspired a huge feeling of community and togetherness, which led, I think, to hope. So I'll read it now. This is from Balconies.
Yes.
While bodies still lie stiff in morgues and cannot yet be burned for change, their ash cannot blow onto tree roots, will not feed a dawning age, but people will get restless and they'll sing from balconies. While governments still hide the facts of masturbatory facade of staying strong and saving face with cries of truth and protest barred, the people will get restless and they'll sing from balconies. And here, with empty barren shelves and mugs of English breakfast tea, our vacant office car parks left to our optional quarantine, our isolation leads to love and building up communities, and anger gets directed at authorities with hands unclean. When clapping means far less to us and taxes spent responsibly, and we have time to strike and fight for those who suffer mercilessly, then all of them will realize these dead cannot be burned unseen, and people will get restless. Yes, as people will get restless. They can fight, kill, and arrest us, but will scream from balconies.
That is so true. That is such a beautiful poem. Worded so beautifully. I really loved it. And we all did get restless, but sorry to say, I don't know if it has got our politics improved in any which way. I doubt it. I really doubt it.
I agree. And it seemed for a little while as though there was this momentum and this feeling of revolution. I mean, people had time to take to the streets because they were away from this 9-to-5 drudgery. And there was this huge push against police brutality and the incompetence of so many governments, and particularly kind of surveillance within China. But it seems like people are so exhausted with the coronavirus pandemic that they just want to return to normal, which for me is such a shame because I feel like normal wasn't good enough. And we had an opportunity to rebuild from the bottom and make things more equal and more beautiful. And that momentum's kind of been lost. But I'm still glad I wrote the poem because I think it captured a moment where I felt hope for the first time in a very long time, at least.
I totally agree with you that it will not go totally unnoticed, but so much more could have been done, which I cannot see till today. But the restlessness that people had then is no more. They are that unity, that togetherness that had come when this problem, we all had to face a similar problem, but we did not rise as a community as a whole. Everybody is more worried about their own individual problems. But do we realize that if we get together and look at any problem, we'll have a better solution to the problem rather than staying, thinking that what I can do. And I'm very happy that you have come up with this magazine because we will be heard. We will be heard. And we have to go on. We have to keep going to the balconies and we have to keep screaming because without that, I'm sorry to say that it's all going back to square one. The only difference that I, as a writer, see in your poem and that people have taken to more art and creativity because they had some time saved when they were working from home. They did not have to do this 10 to 5 job. So they did have some time to stay on with each other and, there was more social interacting, even though it was on social media. Even we were able to print more, we were able to talk to more people, get their views, put it together. We are today almost working with about 20-25 countries. And we try to assimilate thoughts of all those together in a book and as an anthology and try to publish it. But the amount of people who read our work is minuscule at the moment.
Yes.
We want to grow much more, and people like you I'm sure will really assist us.
Thank you. I'm privileged to hear that. I think you assist me in getting my work to a wider audience as well. And that's the beauty, I think, of community within any sort of artistic group, is that you do end up building each other up and helping each other grow more for a bigger audience, which is, for me, super important. That's why we started Aloka. That's why I've been submitting to more international magazines. That's why I tend to follow the writers that are part of the anthologies I'm a part of as well, because these communities are all we have in worlds when not enough people are reading, I think, the work of amateur writers, or, you know, investing in amateur artists in general.
That's so true, because the new minds of the people, they are really coming up with great work, like you have come up with Aloka, and we must encourage people like these, and we should tie hand in hand and move ahead and see to it that things get better for all of us. And I really liked these lines where you wrote here, with empty barren shelves and mugs of English breakfast tea and vacant office car parks left to our optional quarantine. Our isolation leads to love and building up communities. That is exactly what happened that time, you know.
Yeah.
And anger gets directed at authorities with hands unclean. Somehow our anger did not reach those authorities, and they somehow continue to be the same. And yes, our hard-earned money that we pay as taxes is all going waste. There is nobody who is actually taking good use of it. There are a lot of people who have joined us. One, I would just like to tell you their names, some of them.
Sure.
Skippy Kangaroo, I don't know what his real name is.
Sure, yeah, I think this was my flatmate way back when I was first year in university, sure.
Okay, so there is Ravi Sonthalia, from India, Insta Coops, Taste Mart Takeover, and there's Skippy Kangaroo and Amita. There are some people who have joined us, and would you like any one of them to go live with us and say something more about it?
I think they would absolutely kill me if I tried to get them to go live without warning them first. So I think I might just leave them to. But you know, what's great about that is in that list of names, I recognize people that I've met from all over the world who are also doing fantastic stuff. I mean, Taste Bud Takeover is someone I met in China, and they are traveling the whole world, working with lots of different communities and doing all these kind of videos with food, and yeah, that's also a really, really brilliant project as well. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining who's watching. I really appreciate that.
So how can we make our community larger and bring about this awareness in more and more people? This is something that I was wondering while reading your poem, because if it is just one instance here and one instance there, it just dies down. But if we all come together all over the world, if we join hands, I'm sure we can bring about some positive changes and at least see to it that the same thing is not repeated again.
I think so too, yeah. But I think what we need to do most importantly is stop kind of sinking into cynicism and this idea that, you know, a world with equality and community is idealistic and unrealistic, because I don't think that's true. I think it is very much possible to hold people in positions of authority accountable and to make sure that we're taking steps to prevent mass inequality, to prevent homelessness. And the coronavirus pandemic really kind of exemplified that. I don't know much about what was happening in India, but I do know in England that we managed to get homeless people off the streets when we were panicking about the coronavirus pandemic. So why is it we still have homeless people now? Because it's evident that there's more empty houses than there are people on the street. There are these issues that are so much a part of our daily life that we think that they're not fixable. But they are fixable, they absolutely are. And it's just a case of making sure that we're aware about it, we're angry about it, and we're all working together as a community instead of blaming each other, who are all in underprivileged positions, to look at the people who are responsible for the way our society is and say this isn't acceptable. And I think intersectionality is a way forward to do that. I think understanding other cultures and reading the news and being aware of what's happening in kind of environments that are our own is also a part of it. And I think art is a part of it as well. So I think with this, little by little, we might be able to build towards something bigger. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I am an idealist. Maybe my poem is going to be read by 4 people, and great.
No, definitely agree with your idea. Since you have given your organization named Aloka, so I would like to come out with an Indian idea, wherein this says night 4 season, night in one particular season is only 25%, 75% is day. So if we work towards that day, that period, we will be able to bring about a ratio of 75-25, wherein today the 75, even if there are people who are good, maybe they are 90%, but they are not so much active. The 10% who are creating the trouble, they are more active. So what I personally believe is that we have to make these 90% people more active. Okay, still 10, 15, 20% will not be that active, but still we can increase the ratio. That if we can come together and make a good plan accordingly, I'm sure we'll be able to achieve it. Sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Absolutely. Because people feel like, I'm only joining one of the 1% that's actually active or cares about this. But if everyone did that, then the more it would help. So it is really about stamping out this idea of hopelessness and doing something active, building up a community so that we have, we're building more towards that 90%.
So this lockdown, this quarantine period has brought about one good change in us, that we in India, in my neighborhood, I see that people have become more creative. Different kind of work they have started doing from home. They have taken to writing. We have enrolled many more poets in our community, in our group, in Poets' Choice, because people perhaps had more time. They had started applying their mind, thinking more. So, and where finances are concerned, I feel that people have more money, because no eating out, no partying, no buying clothes. We have more money in our pockets now. So it has brought about a lot of positive changes, and I'm quite happy about it. And you being a PhD in this particular field, if you come up with some more ideas where we can keep this creativity going, I would really appreciate, and apply it in our group of people and talk about it and try to follow that lead. I will really appreciate, because your just one punchline, sing from balconies, is really interesting, because this is the song that we need. These people come out from their cocoon and come up to the balconies, and they at least say, yes, I want to fight it. That itself gives us the spirit, gives the push to the person who is on the road. That, okay, there's so many people standing in the balcony, they are saying, okay, go ahead, we are with you. That itself gives a push.
I think, I completely agree. And I mean, that boom of creativity that happened during the pandemic, at least a part of that was due to the fact that people were stepping away from 9-to-5 drudgery. Because the reality is there's a lot of jobs where you have to be in from 9 to 5, but you can do the work in the morning and then have the time for yourself. And I think we need to focus more on that, allowing people more time and energy to work creatively. In terms of suggestions to get people to doing that, I don't really know. But if anyone watching currently or watching later who speaks multiple languages would like to submit to Aloka, that would be great. And we could promote your work, and then more people would see your work. And then the people that follow us would then be following the magazines that also published you. And in that way, I suppose social media is super helpful for creating more artistic spaces. But I think stepping away from the weird mentality that we have at the moment, that people should work 8 hours a day and the rest of the time be too exhausted to do anything productive, has been completely useless for decades. And it's something that we definitely need to step away from. And we should rebuild the way that we see work and the way that we see the expectations of individuals.
That's very important. Being a history student, I want to share this with you. Uh, in India, we had the most beautiful period that was known as the golden age of the Guptas. And that age, art, culture, music, dance, drama, all that grew. So only when people have the time to come out of their 9 to 5 job can they get creative. They come out of their stresses and tensions, and they can do some more creative work which will aspire people for the future generations,
Yeah.
and that is that is the age when the Gupta period, it is called in India, in the Indian history, the golden age of the Gupta period, because there were a lot of people who were doing this. So we hope that this change that COVID has brought in us to get more creative will help us achieve that golden period. Like in our culture, they say that Ram Rajya was the best. That was the best period. So it was 75% positive and 25% negative. That was considered as Ram Rajya. Where everything was auspicious, everything was in track. But at that period only we had Ravan, the most evil character in our Indian mythology. So I'm talking so much about Indian mythology because you have chosen Aloka as your name. And this book of ours, To the Newspaper Again, in which your
Yeah.
poem appeared, we want to have more books like this reaching people. And along with this, we come out with a lot of ideas like Sixth Sense, so that we just don't believe what we see and hear, but we start using our minds. Joys of aging, how beautiful joys are when we age, because
Yeah.
we are full of experience, so that we start valuing our old elders and learn from their experiences. So this is the idea that we are wanting to promote and wanting you to also take up with us, and how we can work hand in hand in the future would be really nice.
Yeah, that sounds like an absolutely fantastic idea. I mean,
Is there anything else you would like to say?
nothing as of yet, only like a deep thank you for involving me in your anthology and allowing me this platform to talk about my poem and to promote Aloka. I really appreciate it, so thank you so much. And of course, if you are at all ever interested in any kind of collaboration or advertisement on Aloka, I am only an email away. I would love to be able to include Poets' Choices anthologies within our magazine as well. And yes, just thank you again for including me. I think it's a really fantastic project, and I was really privileged and honored to be a part of it.
Okay, that's really nice. We in India are also ready if we can work in collaboration with some kind of a project here in India. We are open to that. And
Great.
Coming back to this show, we would like to put up our talk on the YouTube and other social media, and we need your permission for this. Are you okay with it?
That's fine by me, of course.
Okay, so we will post you, we'll send you an email, you can accept it. And we have a lot of vision, especially our young chap Akshay, who is not, he's down with fever today, so he could not talk to you. And he is very enthusiastic, he's devoted his life for this, and he started with this community of poets where he wants to take up good thoughts to people, to make them think and use their sixth sense, and not just go by what people are telling us and taking us for a ride. So with this, I would like to really thank you for the time you have devoted, and thank all the viewers. And we would like to catch up with you again. Akshay would also love to talk to you again. He'll fix up another time with you, and I'm sure he'll be able to come up with more new ideas and innovations, and we can work together in collaboration. Maybe maybe we can start with an Aloka magazine here in India. You know?
That would be great. I would love that.
Yeah,
Sure.
we would love to do something like that with you, you know, because you are working so well on this. And
Thank you.
I want to thank Instagram, all the viewers for being with us. And thank you so much for everything.
No worries. Thank you so much as well. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and thank you to everyone who's watching at home as well. Okay, thanks. Bye.